Star Trek has always referenced itself in one way or another, from one generation to the other.
What is it?
Well, it's,
What is it?
It is... It's green.
It is green.
Usually it'll be a subtle reference that only Trek fans will get, and I'm glad to report that there's a lot of these little moments in the new film.
Are you out of your Vulcan mind?
Let's take a look at some now. Nurse Chapel reference. There's a brief mention of Nurse Chapel.
Nurse Chapel, I need 50 cc's of cortisone.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if we ever see her, though. The ladder in the hallway. In classic Trek, they had one hallway set, and there was always this yellow ladder there. I think it went up somewhere. In the new movie, we see a similar ladder in the hallway as well. It's a nice little touch in the background. Sulu's warp drive throttle. You may have thought the warp drive throttle was silly. You might have even thought it was kind of like the Enterprise E manual steering column. But in the motion picture, Sulu did indeed have a warp throttle. Pretty cool. Eye lighting. Classic lighting, baby. Classic. Red shirt getting killed on an away mission. Probably the most famous of Star Trek references. Pretty self-explanatory. Mind-controlling space slugs. An obvious reference to the Wrath of Khan. But they put him in Pike's mouth instead, which is a reference to Star Trek The Next Generation and the mind-controlling slugs that tried to take over the Federation. So in both timelines, Captain Pike still ends up in a wheelchair. In the original, oh my god! What's wrong with your hair? Kirk and the apple. Kirk eats an apple during the Kobayashi Maru test. This is a reference to the Wrath of Khan when Kirk is eating an apple while discussing how he beat the test. Number 9. So what's next? The future of Star Trek. So I haven't read any rumors or anything about what's supposed to be in the next Star Trek film, but I can take an educated guess. It's probably gonna be about Klingons. And maybe have tribbles in it too. Why? Because that's the next thing on the list of what the general public knows about Star Trek. You see, they made Romulans the bad guys in this one, because Romulans are less interesting and less known than Klingons. And the focus of the first movie was to get all the characters into place. So let's list the things that your average, everyday Joe knows about Star Trek just through osmosis alone. Beam me up, Scotty. The Star Trek Enterprise. Dr. Spock. Live long and prosper, aka the Spock hand thing. Can you do it? LLL, I can. Warp speed. Set phasers to stun. Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a... He's dead, Jim. Klingons. Kirk fights Spock with the things. Da 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 da. Photon torpedoes. Tribbles. Kirk fights the lizard guy. The people with the half-black, half-white faces. The reason why Star Trek endured for 40 years was, again, limitations in quality storytelling. If you ask me what ruined Star Trek, it wasn't the TNG films. It was the Dominion War. A large unfolding plot line about a full-scale war was neat, but like my great-granddaughter Crystal, it showed us all the goods too soon and left nothing to the imagination. For example, The Next Generation teased us for 7 years. We never got to see the Enterprise D in a full-out battle to the death with a Romulan warbird. They came close several times, but it never happened, and that's what made it interesting. When the bigger, more epic things started to happen, it began to cheapen it, causing a rapid burnout.
Oh my god.
The once mighty and feared Klingon bird of prey now had the durability of a TIE fighter, and the terrifying Romulan warbird could now be dissolved away when hit by a laser beam. Then after a few battles, things got boring. In the new film, we see 2 whole planets blowing up, almost 3. We see supernovas, black holes sucking up supernovas. So what can be blown up next? The galaxy? The universe? The first film kicked off the franchise really well. But if you keep trying to top the previous film, then it's in danger of burning itself out too quickly when you go too far. Star Trek will just need another reboot in 5 years like everything else. So is a reboot of a reboot still just called a reboot, or is it a reimagining of a reboot? Or would a reimagining get a...